And we are back. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are back with more One Piece, episode 1114. It's been over a month since we last reacted to One Piece because I decided to take a break. I decided it was just the right moment, and I wanted to check out Arlo, I Heart Arlo. So we watched a bit of I Heart Arlo. We put that on hold for now, though, and we're going to get back to One Piece. So you may be noticing we're only doing one episode today instead of like the normal two or three that we do whenever we have to catch up. And yeah, we're only doing one this time, but we'll start doing multiple episodes probably next week just to catch up and everything. Um, the reason is like with various other things I'm doing right now, I just wanted to you I wanted to have as much other time as possible at the moment before we got into like really doing multi-episode things to catch up. And I don't think we have a lot of episodes to catch up with anyway, so like maybe 6. So yeah, we'll be caught up in no time anyway. No worries there. Last time I did not actually look up what happened last time again, so I'm going off the top of my head here. Perona. Perona was going to help Kobe escape while she was looking for Moria, because Kobe had been caught by Blackbeard and everything. And we're kind of like veering away from the Egghead Island Straw Hat stuff at the moment to focus on some other stuff going on. I specifically remember Perona. I don't remember what else happened. I know there were some other fights going on. Was last episode, was that the one that showed Shanks take out Kid, or was that the episode before that? I think it was the episode before that. Um, there will probably be recaps and stuff to catch us back up, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'll remember as we go along and as we touch on other stuff. We'll be good. Excuse me. But yeah, I'm just excited to be back. I'm excited to see more and to see how this arc continues to go, what other new information we're going to be given, and just where this is going to end up going. Because we still have some bad guys coming towards Egghead. So yeah, we're just going to get into this. We're not going to waste too much time. We're going to see where this episode takes us. And like I said, we'll probably get to multi-episode recordings next week. So let's see what this episode has for us. Cutting in here real quick to remind you of all the awesome content we have on the channel. Between Monday and Friday, we have a plethora of awesome series reactions with 2 on Wednesday. We also have movie reactions every Saturday and Sunday. I do pre-record them during the week, but upload them on the weekend. We have gaming content as well on our secondary channel, Princess of Gaming. Every single day we upload parts of Baldur's Gate 3, and every other day is Horizon Forbidden West. But on Saturdays we also get to Nier Automata. Don't forget to click the link in the description for today's reaction. I redirect everything on the channel just because of copyright. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click that like button. It helps out the channel and allows me to get more of this awesome content to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's get on with today's reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So let's actually talk about that ending bit first. So after Kuzan comes in, we kind of get flashbacks into like when he, I guess, was going to be joining Blackbeard's crew. So he came to this island. Blackbeard's crew attacked him, and he froze all of them. Probably pretty easily. Which also shows his insane power, but we already kind of knew he was insanely powerful. Um, and then, like, Blackbeard obviously confronted him, and they're talking. Blackbeard is very upset and very angry. He also seems scared, which is very interesting because he very much came across as terrified right there. Because exactly as Kuzan had said, if he used his tremor power there, the power he stole from Whitebeard, it would it would kill his crew members, which would ruin his ambition and, you know, destroy all of his plans. And although they attacked Kuzan first, from what he's saying, I think that him being there was still kind of to initiate this. I think that this was still in his plan. He went there on purpose. He made it so they would attack him first, give him a reason to freeze them and everything, and create this opportunity for him to talk to Blackbeard and presumably join his crew at this point. But why? What is the reason? What is the motivation? Like I said, I don't think it has to do with him actually wanting to side with Blackbeard. I think it's more along the lines of he's using Blackbeard to further some other goal. I don't know what it is. It might have something to do with Akainu. Maybe he wants to fuck him over somehow because fuck Akainu. But there's got to be more to it. I just feel like there's more to this that we are just not privy on yet. But let's talk about the majority of this episode. So Kobe is working on his escape, and he is saved by the members of Sword, including Hibari, or Hibari. I'm gonna go back and forth on how to pronounce her name. It's just gonna happen. Who is fucking adorable. She is super cute. She is clearly crushing on Kobe. And she seems to be very talented. She uses her sniper skills to be able to shoot these special flower bullets at everybody else, at all these pirates, in order to stop them from using their guns. The flower bullets were created by Vegapunk and seemingly Mads as well. Or maybe he made it like outside of Mads because the others there didn't look too thrilled about it. Maybe that was something he made like outside of his work with Mads, and they were like jealous that they didn't get the apparently Nobel Peace Prize as well. So that's pretty fascinating. There's a lot to think about there. But yeah, we see her come in. We see Prince Roos, who apparently has clay powers. It seems like it works very similarly to the mud powers of Caribou. Except that, you know, it's also very moldable, and he can create like full-on clay soldiers who will fight for him and stuff. It's a really interesting kind of power, but it is similar. You can't argue. It is similar to Caribou's. I just assume he can't, like, you know, absorb people into it like Caribou can do with his mud. I assume it doesn't have that ability and stuff like that. But yeah, that's a very fascinating ability nonetheless. And of course, we have the Whip Lady, and then others are there like Helmeppo and Tashigi. But the highlight is definitely Garp. So Garp launches the ship at the island, and then uses what is possibly his strongest move, Galaxy Impact. And it decimates this island. It's like absolute destruction. But as he puts it himself, this was not his best. And again, it makes sense. We know Garp is not in his prime anymore. We know this is not him at his absolute strongest. But like him like kind of pointing out like I could have done better. It's like that's really wild because his attack was so insane. It was so insanely strong. And I've made a point in like the past of noting how strong Garp is and noting it's like again, this is a guy who went toe to toe many times with Roger. Like he was absolutely in terms of strength on the level of Roger and Whitebeard. And that's insane to think about. Like in his prime, he was on par with Roger. That's scary. And it just goes to show that in Marineford, he did not go all out. He was holding back a lot, in fact. Like he was very drastically holding back. And we knew that though, because it pretty much blatantly said it. It made it very clear in Marineford that he was holding back. Even though he was telling himself and others that he wasn't going to, he very clearly did. And the problem is, I feel that's part of the reason he's going all out here to rescue Kobe. It's not just because Kobe's his beloved pupil, that is an absolute like notable part of it. It's because of his failure in Marineford. He held back, and him holding back is it in his eyes probably led to Ace's death. Him holding back led to the events that caused Akainu to kill Ace and almost kill Luffy. And as much as he was like, you know, he doesn't like that Ace and Luffy had taken these paths and become pirates, he greatly cares about both of them, and that had been made very clear. So he didn't want either of them to die. We even saw like him like crying while Ace was still up there about to be executed and everything. He really didn't want this. And when Akainu killed Ace, like Sengoku literally had to hold him down because otherwise he would have killed Akainu. Like it's not even a matter of he could have, he would have. If Sengoku didn't hold him back, Akainu would be fucking dead. And I kind of wish that had happened. But yeah, Sengoku had to hold him back. Because and Garp feels that he, you know, I feel like that's also part of the reason he retired. Because he felt like his inaction and his hesitation and his holding back in Marineford just showed that his time is done. And with the passing of Whitebeard as well, one of the last big remnants of that time that he shared with Roger and everything, he knew that he needed to close things out on his time. But then his beloved pupil is kidnapped by one of the worst evils in the world. And I absolutely believe here that Garp's mind, his thoughts, completely went to, I am not losing another one. I lost one of my beloved grandsons. I almost lost both of them. I'm not losing someone else important to me. It feels like he's trying to make up for what happened at Marineford and for his inaction and hesitation and everything at Marineford by going all out here. Like, right off the bat, the first attack he makes on the pirates of this island is quite possibly his strongest attack. He's making a statement with this. that he's not going to let someone else he cares about die. He's going to go all out to save Kobe. And definitely earns a lot of respect with that. Because he understands mistakes he's made in the past and understands that he can't just hold back anymore. That in order to save Kobe from someone like this, he has to go all out. But unfortunately, he now has to face Kuzan. And we know Kuzan is exceedingly strong. Like, we got a taste of the Admiral's power in Marineford, and with Kuzan and Kizaru, we got a little taste of their power prior to that as well. But we never really, I feel, saw them at their full power. Like, remember, Kuzan and Akainu fought for 10 days straight. They didn't sleep. They fought for 10 days straight on Punk Hazard. And honestly, Akainu barely won. It was super close. That's the entire point of it. But the fact that they could fight that long with that much power to the point where it permanently changed Punk Hazard's, like, entire makeup as an island is insanity. The Admirals are a lot stronger than Marineford would give credit for. And considering the battle between Kuzan and Akainu happened prior to the time skip, it goes to show that, yeah, they had this power back then too, they just didn't use it. And with Kuzan, I think he didn't use it on purpose, kind of like Garp, he was purposely holding back. But for Kizaru and Akainu, I think that they were holding back because they didn't feel like they needed to use their full power. They felt like these pirates there were just so beneath them, they didn't need to go all out. And so it's like now we're getting to see a taste of Kuzan's full power with, you know, taking out all of Blackbeard's crew in one fell swoop. That's insanity. That is insanity that he is that strong that easily. And I don't even know if, like, there's implication that he really went all out against them. We don't even know how much power he had to use against them. So that's pretty crazy in and of itself. But the fact of the matter is, Blackbeard's fucking scared of him. That in and of itself is wild. Because Blackbeard's not really scared of much of anyone. Like, he is willing to fight pretty much anyone head on. Like, he's not even scared of Shanks. Which is wild, because Shanks is absolutely stronger than Kuzan. So the question is, why is he scared of Kuzan but not Shanks? We know he's fought Shanks, and we know he gave Shanks his scar. And maybe that's why. Because I think when he gave this... Because Shanks had the scar, like, over a decade ago. Back when he was, you know, hanging out with Luffy in the past. When Luffy was a kid. So Shanks had already gotten the scar from Blackbeard by that point. But we know Shanks was not at the power he is now. At that time. I honestly do not believe that the Shanks of those flashbacks would have been powerful or, you know, important enough to be able to stop Marineford. That's his current power before the time skip. And even now, post time skip, he's even much, much more powerful than that. To the point where he's using Roger's moves and stuff. Like, Shanks is insane. But Blackbeard, I don't think, is scared of him because he's already hurt him. And I think he's underestimating him because of that. Meanwhile, Kuzan is someone Blackbeard has never been able to defeat. Plus, unlike Shanks, Kuzan has a devil fruit, and a very, very powerful one at that. And I think that just the power and the intensity of that devil fruit is part of what makes Teach so scared of Kuzan. I think that's part of the big reason why he's scared. Plus, again, the fact that his entire crew was frozen and anything could, shatter them at that point, which would completely ruin his plans and ambition, that would kind of shake him up a little bit too, to be fair. To be fair. So it's a kind of interesting view on all of that. But Garp, I think, is technically stronger than Kuzan. I just think Kuzan's devil fruit gives him certain advantages over people who are technically stronger than him. It's just an insane devil fruit. So Garp versus Kuzan, no matter what, would be an insane battle. I mean, if Garp were in his prime, he would absolutely wipe the floor with Kuzan. But he's not in his prime. He's old. And he admits he's not at his best right now. So, I'm very interested to see how this fight ends up going. And I presume Hibari's going to be fine. She's going to be defrosted. She'll be okay, because we know that can happen. We saw Robin and Luffy both get frozen in pre-Water 7 by Kuzan. They just need to be defrosted and they'll be fine. And so I assume that's what's going to happen. She'll be okay. Everyone else will probably either escape or just, survive this. It's just going to be focused mostly on Garp versus Kuzan. But I also do want to see more of this backstory, too. I want to see more about how and why Kuzan joined Blackbeard. Like I said in the reaction, I've heard a lot of theories regarding it. I've heard a lot of people give theories oh, he's undercover for the world government or something, which is a possibility. But I don't think that if he is undercover, it is for the world government and not the Marines. If he is undercover, I do not believe Akainu knows about it. I believe that it would be a deep cover, probably given to him by, I don't know, the Celestial Dragons or someone like that. Someone higher up. I say the Celestial Dragons. I specifically, by the way, mean the Elder Stars. They are Celestial Dragons, so I am correct, but just to differentiate from, Charlos, I do mean the Elder Stars. But yeah, either way, it's probably a deep cover, or he might just be doing it on his own. Which, I mean, it still could be a deep cover that way, but he might just be choosing to do it on his own. I'm very interested to see where this goes, and I hope they continue with the phenomenal animation for this fight, because it's God, if any fight deserves it, Garp versus Kuzan abso-fucking-lutely deserves it. That being said, tell me your thoughts down in the comments below, and for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.